Hey, it's Todd Fox here for Halos in the Infield and the Mighty Ducks post-game show, or Anaheim Ducks, however you want to call them. I am Todd Fox along with...
Dominic Lorenz, Catella Chronicles. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to everyone watching along.
Absolutely, and unfortunately the Ducks couldn't produce today. We hope that they take care of business on Friday against the dreaded Kings. But for right now, let's talk about a game that was more than frustrating because you feel like the Ducks are better than the Canucks. And it's to that time of season, Dominique, where you actually are feeling a bit better about this team and you're measuring this team versus other ones and you're saying talent for talent, piece by piece, the Ducks should have won this game. But like you said, I want to get your first thoughts about how this game went.
Yeah, this one is a frustrating game at the end of the day. You lose to a team that is definitely below you in the Pacific Division standings. And like John Ollers and Brian Hayward said on the broadcast tonight, it felt like from start to finish a very helter-skelter game. And the Ducks coming off of a massive win against Vegas on Saturday, then coming off of the high of that game, you had 3 days off, which kind of maybe killed a little momentum coming into this game. And you just felt throughout this night that the Ducks just played a little uneasy and a little unsure of themselves. And I know the big news coming into the game was Joe Stahl is going to be out for a couple of games with an upper body injury. So Peter Mrazek is going to be the guy. And Mrazek at times kept the Ducks in this game. A couple of other times kind of got hung out to dry with a couple of 2-on-1 breaks. And that's kind of where Vancouver beat the Ducks tonight, going on the offensive rush a little more than not. And even though the Ducks outshot Vancouver widely tonight, bounces, yet multiple bounces, go the Vancouver way, not the Ducks way. Ducks had some pucks go off the post. Vancouver gets their fourth goal. That was a difference maker in the third. That rattles off a couple of players and lastly off a Duck. So just, frustrating kind of game and a little weird game to say the least.
And you know what? It's funny you mentioned the post. My boy Terry, dude. I mean, he had the hat trick tonight if it wasn't for the post.
Yeah.
Three times dinging off the post tonight. That was kind of frustrating. The 2 goals, like you said early on, like set the tone, and the Ducks really didn't like they outshot Vancouver in the first period, and they outshot them for the game 41-28. So they did a good job there, and I felt they pressured a lot, but it just seemed like um literally the pucks were going the Vancouver way because other than those posts and the other things, because I think didn't Uncle Leo hit the post as well?
Uncle Leo had a hit of the post or rattling off the goaltender's pads. So many opportunities, unfortunately, left on the table for the Ducks, and I think that's something that is going to stick with Anaheim during Thanksgiving meal tomorrow, knowing that they probably should have picked up a win tonight, and especially Vancouver riding a 3-game losing streak coming into tonight. You always want to take advantage of those opportunities. And again, the Ducks could not take advantage. And this kind of felt like the game against Ottawa last week, where it was Ottawa getting the bounces, the Ducks, the shaft to Terry's, stick breaking at the moment of truth right before regulation, and all of those things. So it kind of felt like that Ottawa loss, from a week ago. So again, it's one of those games that you're going to get throughout the season. You wish it didn't happen before a highly anticipated divisional game against your crosstown rival on Friday, which is going to be massive. The Ducks, in a way, and we'll get into it near the end when we kind of cover the going into the future into Black Friday versus the Kings, that you kind of set yourself up for a must-win situation to salvage a 500 record on this homestand.
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be huge. But getting back to this game tonight, though, Dom, did you see the odd man rushes? I mean, the Canucks did get a few breakaways. They had a 2-on-0 shorthanded opportunity. They had some opportunities too where it seemed like I want to get back to Mrazek, the way he was playing goaltending tonight. It seemed like he had some point blank open shots to where he made some phenomenal saves. Put the post aside. He made some pretty good saves too. Again, because you could argue that the Ducks should have scored 7 or 8 tonight, and you could say the same thing for Vancouver.
100%.
One thing I want to know, if you remember in the second period, there was a play behind Mrazek where he completely lost where the puck was,
Mm-hmm.
and there, if not for a deflection off a Ducks player, I mean, he was out of place. He had no idea where the puck was. The net was left wide open.
Yep.
So there was breaks. I mean, overall, bro, it seemed like the easier shots he was having trouble with, but the the ones that were like crazy good shots or passes, man, uh
Yeah.
he had some issues tonight.
Again, there was some struggle, some spots tonight for Peter Mrazek. And again, Mrazek getting the start just hours before the game once the Ducks said that Dostal was going to be kind of a game-to-game situation with again, that upper body injury.
Mhm.
So, and I'm not saying that's the reason why he maybe not played his best, because as a professional hockey player, you got to be ready to go no matter what. I think there was times tonight where Peter Mrazek tried to get a little gutsy in that you saw him kind of creep out, stick out a couple of pucks, and that kind of left him a little vulnerable in situations. And with the Ducks defense putting themselves into some vulnerable situations at times, we talked about it when we were guests on Locked On Ducks, last night, aka when the episode dropped this morning, that the Ducks can be feast or famine on defense. And when you get into those scenarios, there's got to be clear communication between your netminder and your defense. Okay, we're going to go be a part of the rush, be prepared, or we're going to sit back with you, be prepared in a different sort of way. So I think Peter Mrazek, I think it's still getting that continuity with the Ducks and trying to figure out what he can and cannot do from time to time. But it was, again, just a night where the Ducks did a lot right, but also did a lot, unfortunately, wrong that led to poor situations. They threw everything at the kitchen sink in Vancouver's zone. Over 40 shots, one of the higher shots on goal night for the Ducks this season. But it was more high quality opportunities for Vancouver that they cashed in on than the amount of opportunities doled out, especially the Garland goal in the second period that put Vancouver up 3-1 right after Lacombe made it 2-1. You're thinking, okay, you're battling back in this game, and then an odd man rush and a nice little stick handling skill, backhander into the net, and that kind of cooled the temperature for the Ducks down just a little bit.
It sure did. And speaking of cooling down, I mean, if the Ducks would have got that breakaway by the defenseman, I think Ralph was his name. He got in there and he almost went 5-hole on the goalie. If he had gotten that one, I think the complexity of that game changes, because right there it was still 3-3. Ducks with a lead is better. That obviously they're not scrapping for goals, but speaking of goals, let's get into the goal scoring. Let's jump into them. We'll play the horn when we get the Ducks goals, but we'll go through each goal that was scored. There was 9 of them tonight.
Yes.
And then we will get into Dominic's 3 stars and the hoser of the game.
Absolutely. And like I mentioned just a moment ago, it was Vancouver. Even though the Ducks outplayed Vancouver in the first period, they end up going into the break with a 2-0 lead, a Carlson goal, his 4th of the series. No, not Leo Carlson. They have a Carlson as well, so we can't hit the horn just yet. 4th of the year for Carlson of Vancouver. And then Evander Kane picks up his 4th on a power play. And the Evander Kane goal was a lot of traffic in front of Mrazek getting tipped around, and that's what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Bounces going Vancouver's way early and often in tonight's game. So 2-0. Ducks able to bounce back on a power play goal from Jackson Lacombe, from Cutter Gauthier, his 14th assist, Lacombe's 3rd of the season to make it 2-1. Yes, indeed. Special because the Ducks had a power play that carried over from the first period. They get a goal 9 seconds into the third, and that was the sticking point as we get to more of the scoring. What I wish the Ducks were able to accomplish at the start of the third period.
Yep.
Garland got his 6th in the year on a nice little 2-on-1 break. Great stick handling skills, backhanded pass Mrazek, 3-1. And then the Ducks, late in the second period, showing some grit from some of their young core franchise guys. Carlson, he's got a dozen now on the year, his 12th, assisted by Scary Terry, his 19th, and Olin Zellweger, his 5th of the year. 3. And that combination, Carlson, Terry, Seneca, the top line for the Ducks, is working. They have looked so good so far in recent games. Keep that line pairing going, even though there has been some juggling of the lines, with Granlund now going to the injured reserve, and Ryan Failing seems to be skating, coming back hopefully soon. So still adjusting some moments here for Coach Q. And then with less than 2 minutes remaining in the second period, Mason McTavish, his 5th of the year from the aforementioned Seneca, his 10th, and Jackson Lacombe gets his 9th assist of the season. So the Ducks, after being down 2 after 1, they find a way to bounce back and tie it up after 2.
Oh,
go ahead.
If I could, man, I gotta jump in there because that goal by McTavish, man, it was sweet. I forgot who broke it up, poke checked it, gave it to McTavish. McTavish hit Seneca, and then Seneca with that cross ice pass, right, perfect to McTavish.
It all started with Jackson Lacombe. He was willing to give the body up, take the hit on the boards, make sure to get that pass. Seneca skates it out, and like you said, nifty passing across the ice. The Ducks have done that much better so far this season of those cross ice passes, and again, creates opportunities, which is what you want for the Ducks.
And did you notice tonight, Dom, the fans, the excitement? I mean, when they scored that third goal and they went to the end of the second period, it was a standing ovation for the club. That I felt right there that they were going to win. I thought,
the fans are buying in, man.
Yeah, that place was sold out. Again, if this was last year or the year before, bro, or even the year before that, half the seats are empty. You know what I mean? So it's great vibes, man.
The vibes at Honda Center are great, and you wish, and this is where it comes into play of, I wish the Ducks were able to take that mentality into the start of the third period. And if they had started the third the way they started the second, okay, maybe not get a goal 9 seconds in, but in that first 10 minutes of the third period, if you could get the lead, because the Ducks never had a lead tonight, if you were able to get the lead, I think the Ducks play a different game and put Vancouver on their heels, who were in danger of losing their 4th in a row. But as it went back and forth, just a lucky tip as it went off of 3 players towards the net and ends up going off of Drew Hellison and into the net. Sasson gets his 5th of the year, 4-3 Vancouver. The Ducks pull Peter Mrazek, and as soon as he gets to the bench, I get the mentality, 2 minutes or so left, you want to get that extra attacker on. Leo Carlson loses an edge, falls down on the ice, 2 defenders surround him, are able to wiggle the puck away, and then they get the empty net 5-3. And then I love it, but hate it. Even though it's 5-4, the Ducks get a goal. Cutter Gauthier, his 14th of the year. Lacombe, another assist, his 10th, and Kreider, his 6th. So we'll make the goal horn for that one as the Ducks got on the board. The unfortunate part, 6 seconds left in the hockey game.
Yeah.
The crazy thing was the Ducks call a timeout, and we've talked about it a lot. Jay Woodcroft designs a beautiful, beautiful play. The Ducks, who have struggled in the faceoff dot this season, win the faceoff. Troy Terry's able to bring it up to the net, and everybody just crashes. The initial shot was just a tad bit wide. Nice play off the board as it settles right near the post. And as the Ducks are going to try to shovel it forward and try to get some momentum, clock runs out. To me, if the Ducks had even 20 seconds, you never know what could have happened. That puck was right in the goal crease. 5 jerseys. It was going to be a madhouse. Even if the Ducks had 5 more seconds, could they have just shoved it past the feet of the Canucks goaltender and end up getting a tie and even getting a pity point and going to OT? But a valiant effort at the end. Again, a sloppy game, a little helter-skelter throughout the night. So again, the Gauthier goal at the end kind of is for naught. It pads the stats. It makes the loss look a little closer, but the Ducks end up losing 5-4 tonight.
Yeah, and I hope that they can say what Grillmaster said in the comments, which is, hey, just tough loss tonight, clean it up for the Kings against the hated ones. But
they did that against Ottawa, tough loss at the very end, and they came out with a vengeance against Vegas. And the Ducks have played differently against the bigger team. Well, the Ducks really haven't had as many divisional games. They've played Vegas twice, San Jose once, the Kraken once, and now Vancouver once. So they haven't seen the Kings yet. They haven't seen the Calgary Flames. So this is a situation, or the Edmonton Oilers, for exact. So the Ducks really haven't had those domineering divisional games yet. So we'll see. The 2 against Vegas, they came out ready to roll, and they played hard-fought hockey. Can they do the same? Well, not can. They must do the same on Friday against the Kings.
Absolutely. So with that being said, we got to find out who are the three or who the award winners are tonight. 3 stars brought to you in part by 714 Tickets. So the 3 stars brought to you in part by 714 Tickets go today, by today, whatever it is. I messed that up. What it really is you get
Buy today, go tonight.
There you go. I didn't do the Roger voice.
Yo, AM 830 is so disapproving right now.
They sure are. But basically, no taxes, no service fees. The price you see is the price you get. And use HITI in the promo code to get 10% off of whatever game you want to go to. Doesn't have to be hockey. Doesn't even have to be in state. But you can get those good ticket prices. So let's hear the 3 stars by Dominique from Catella Chronicles.
Here we go. So the 3 stars of the game, even though the Ducks lose tonight, 2 of my 3 stars are Anaheim Ducks. So that's a positive here tonight.
Yes, it is.
My number 3 star of the game, he was a little bit of everywhere, joining in on the rush per usual. Even though there were some moments on defense, again, feast or famine. We know this at this point. We are 23 games into the season. You know what the Ducks are as of right now. If no changes are made to this roster, it's going to do more help than harm. Sometimes it'll bite you in the butt. Tonight, I'll give them a break. Give me a little bit of, actually, I'm going to switch it up. You know what? Screw it. Give me Cutter Gauthier. I'm going to put Cutter Gauthier in the 3 spot tonight. Picked up a goal, picked up an assist, a 2-point night, even though the goal was in, meaningless time with 6 seconds left in the game. Cutter Gauthier continues to be such a strong asset for this Anaheim Ducks team. 14 goals on the season and continues to be one of the top threats for the Anaheim Ducks. At the number 2 slot, I'm going to go with the Vancouver Canucks centerman, Max Sasson. He gets an assist on the first goal. He scores the 4th goal. Even though it really wasn't him, it goes off of his body and then off of Drew Hellison. So he represents the lucky breaks that Vancouver got tonight at certain points of the game. So Sasson, the number 2 star. And as I started to explain at the beginning, feast or famine, does it on both sides of the ice. I think he's really coming into his own this year. Got to clean some more things up defensively, but he set up the beautiful Mason McTavish goal, sacrificing the body, getting it to Seneca, who delivered it to McTavish. 1 goal, 2 assists, a 3-point night for Mr. Jackson Lacombe. Lacombe gets my number 1 star of the night. So Gauthier at the 3, Sasson at the 2, and Lacombe at the 1.
I like that. And Lacombe's been an underrated player so far for the Ducks, an unsung hero.
Just got to clean up that defense a little bit more, just like everybody else.
He's been doing a lot of good, though. I will say that as far as the defenseman so far. I wanted to bring up one thing before we get into the hoser of the night, and that's Quinn Hughes. Quinn Hughes is literally their best player. Do you see? Because I had to throw this out there because maybe it's wishful thinking.
Yeah, Dimitriano makes the comment.
Yeah, they're speaking of some trades right there.
Yep.
Do you think he would come? I mean, obviously he would be like a high price. We'd have to give up something to get him.
I don't see Vancouver trading within the division. Now, maybe they might be desperate. It depends how desperate Vancouver is at this point. If they start getting barreled down in the Pacific Division standings, different story, different day. I just think, once again, it's one of those situations where a star player like Quinn, you do not want to trade that within the division. Because then you're watching a guy come back into your house consistently over and over again. I just don't see it. I think if Vancouver was to do it, they would trade him to an East Coast team. I really do. Would I accept it? Sure, that'd be fun. What does Vancouver need? Probably a lot of things at this point. They looked pretty good tonight. They picked up a 5-4 win against us. So I'm not going to say too much negatives about Vancouver tonight. But it would be interesting to see if they were willing to trade. But my inclination, just for being a fan, just like we talk about in baseball and any other sport, it's rare when you trade within the division.
Yeah, It is
Yep.
rare. I mean, you would like to see if the Ducks could maybe make that opportunity and get a couple players, but I'm just telling you, he would look good. He would look good in Ducks colors, that's for sure. That's all I'm
Yeah,
saying.
Dimitro gives a little bit. He says Ian Moore, Pavel Minchikov, and Roger McQueen and a draft pick for Quinn. And I think that's a little steep.
Yeah, I wouldn't give McQueen. That's for sure.
Yeah, McQueen too young. You don't really know what you have with him yet, and the Ducks are really high on him, so I don't think McQueen would be available. I don't with the Ducks' defensive issues, giving away 2 defensemen, that would be a high price to ask for, regardless if you're getting defensemen back or not.
See, if you were to do that trade, you would have to pull a trade for a couple defensemen first.
Yes, exactly. And between Ian Moore and Pavel Minchikov, I think I would lean towards giving away more than Pavel Minchikov, because Minchikov, I think, is somebody that we've put more hopes in than Moore. And nothing against Moore. He's been great. But I think he's a little bit more expandable than Pavel Minchikov would be. So maybe more a draft pick and some sort of a forward for Hughes, and you probably have to retain all of Quinn Hughes' money, which would make sense. But again, in division trades are becoming so rare nowadays.
That is true.
It's tougher unless you're a team at like 3 years ago when the Ducks were doing it and they were a bottom feeder, then maybe you pull out that trade. The Pacific Division is winnable for anybody right now. It's still early and it's still competitive.
Absolutely. So as we close out the show tonight, let's get to the hoser of the night.
All right, the hoser of the night. Unfortunately, it is going to go to an Anaheim Ducks tonight with their 5-4 loss against the Vancouver Canucks. Tough night for the Ducks after 3 days off against a divisional team and off an OT win against Vegas and all the hype and momentum that was going on during this homestand. The Ducks 5 games in, a 3-2 record, which is good, but still got one more left on the 6-game homestand. To me, the hoser tonight, unfortunately, didn't register a shot on goal on the ice for more than 15 minutes. Looked a little helter-skelter on defense. And the puck, unfortunately, glanced off his skate for the 4th goal and a difference maker for Vancouver. It's going to be Drew Helleson. Helleson gets the hoser of the night. Again, the bounces did not go the Ducks' way. The Ducks, so many pucks off the crossbar and the post. So many off deflected bodies and deflected sticks. I would say out of the 4 goals, excluding the empty netter for Vancouver, half of their goals, at least 2 of them, were on and weird hops. And tonight, a difference maker off the skate of Helleson. Maybe not Helleson himself, but his skate gets the hoser of the night.
It sure does, man. That was a tough break for the Ducks, as that was the game winner right there.
Yep.
Real quick, as far as the Kings, Ducks haven't been good since '83. They were around in '83, bro. Real quick, Dom, are you available for Friday's game? Because we have family that night, and I'm not sure if you're coming to the thing.
I will be. I have some family things going on during the day and such, but I should be along around the time for a little post-game wrap-up.
Yeah, because I may or may not be able to. I'm not sure. It just depends on how things go.
Todd may be partying a lot.
Yeah, I might be. Yeah,
he might be partying and he's celebrating Anthony Rendon getting cut off.
Oh, I sure am, dude. Like,
sidebar to Angel fans listening along. It's been a great day potentially.
Yeah, the only thing that would have made it better is the Ducks win tonight, but still we're in first place for now. So
hey, first place when you put your head to the pillow tonight, the Ducks have the first place. I'll look at the updated standings. Ducks at 29 points, Vegas at 28, Kraken at 28, Kings at 28, San Jose, Edmonton at 25, Vancouver at 22, and Calgary, who look to be dead in the water, has won 4 of its last 10 games, and they're at 19 points. So 5-game difference between the top and the bottom of our Pacific Division.
Yeah, it's true. What do you call it? If the Ducks got to win, like you said, if they could get out of this homestand 4-2, beating the LA Kings as well, because obviously if we lose to the Kings, they're going to jump us on
or at least get a pity point.
You gotta exactly
get a pity point to end this homestand on the right note. It's going to be It's a freeway face-off. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be physical. The crowd, I think, is probably going to be fantastic. The Ducks faithful, the Kings faithful. They're going to meet Black Friday at Honda Center. It's going to be a ruckus environment. And I think it's going to feel playoff-esque, especially with both of these teams neck and neck in the division standings at this moment right now. It's going to be a fun environment. I wish I could be there. But again, it's the holidays. The ticket prices are going crazy. So get a win before a mini 2-game road trip in Chicago and St. Louis. And again, that is a back-to-back Sunday and Monday. So the Ducks have a lot to go with. And with Dostal potentially being out for a little bit, we might see the call-up in Husso from the San Diego Gulls getting in before we know it. So we'll see how it all works out in the coming days.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it, man. Good hockey hopefully is upon us as it continues as the Ducks. You feel better, even though you lost tonight. Kind of sucks, but it's the first of 4 against the Canucks. Hopefully, we bounce back the next time we face them in the new year. So, with that being said, any final thoughts, my man?
No, I think that's it for now. Tough night for the Ducks. Try to rattle off, get some sleep, enjoy Thanksgiving tomorrow, and it's going to be an early one, a 1 o'clock puck drop at Honda Center against the Kings. Go out, get the win. If you can't, try to get that pity point and try to stay the course and keep on winning hockey games. And fans, if you haven't yet watched our friend Kyle, the Locked On Ducks podcast, we were his guest last night, aka this morning when the episode dropped. So the three of us had a good vibe, a good conversation. Go out on the Locked On Ducks, a great spot for Kyle. He's a friend of the show. Hopefully we'll have him on our podcast soon enough. But check out that episode with me, Todd, and our good buddy Kyle from Locked On Ducks.
Absolutely. Like and subscribe until Friday.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Cheers to you guys, and be well, be merry, and be blessed with your family and friends.
The sign off, bro. Fly together. That's your thing.
Well, I was going to get to that. Thanksgiving, probably going to say, love you. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for screwing up a winning ways. The watch party was great, but it's Todd's fault. Throw it away. But no, we love you guys. Let's go, Ducks. Ducks fly together. Happy Thanksgiving. And we'll talk to you guys on Friday.